Hello, I'm Jenna Johnson, and this is COVID-19 News. According to the World Health Organization, the U.S. now has over 5.5 million cases of COVID-19 and over 173,000 deaths attributed to the virus. The Democratic National Convention was this past week, and 19.7 million people tuned in across 10 television networks to watch. Michelle Obama gave her speech on opening night, and it has since been viewed over 2 million times on YouTube. At least half of those views came from someone who likes to take notes. During her speech, the former First Lady said that 150,000 people have already died from the coronavirus.
More than 150,000 people have died, and our economy is in shambles because of a virus that this president downplayed for too long.
Which Donald Trump was quick to criticize, saying she had the wrong deaths.
She should have made the speech live, which she didn't do. She taped it. And it was not only taped, it was taped a long time ago because she had the wrong deaths. I thought it was a very divisive speech, extremely divisive. We have a tremendous amount of enthusiasm for my campaign because of things like we're talking about now, drug prices and drug cuts and transparency with hospitals and doctors that are going to lower bills by 50%, 70%. You're talking about numbers that are incredible.
He was criticizing her for not speaking live because if she had, she would have had her deaths right. It's not 150,000 dead, Michelle. It is 173,000 dead. Get it right. You're better than that. Be best. He should have ran with it and gone, yeah, it's only 150,000 deaths, and then slowly backed away into some bushes. Because 23,000 more dead is so much worse. That's like your wife accusing you of having an affair with a porn star, and you're like, it was 2 porn stars? Maybe if you didn't practice your arguments ahead of time, you'd get my infidelities right. So divisive. In a rare Saturday session, the House of Representatives approved $25 billion in emergency funds for the U.S. Postal Service and passed legislation that would reverse the recent changes made by the Postmaster General that had greatly slowed down the agency's operations. The Republican-held Senate is expected to stall the bill, and even if it passed, the White House said the president would veto it anyway. It's rare that members of the House get called in for a Saturday session. But hello, Congress, welcome to America, where going to work on Saturday isn't just normal, it is necessary for many people. For the service industry, for one, Saturday shifts can be a huge amount of money. It really does mean the difference between having to choose between getting your nose pierced or paying your phone bill. Without Saturday shifts, you would be the only person on the block with nose jewelry, but no phone to send pictures of it to anyone. Saturday shifts allow you to do both. This week, Sean Hannity asked the president if he was going to have poll watchers at voting stations.
My question to you then is, are you going to have poll watchers? Are you going to have an ability to monitor to avoid fraud and cross-check whether or not these are registered voters, whether or not there's been identification to know that it's a real vote from a real American?
We're going to have everything. We're going to have sheriffs and we're going to have law enforcement.
I am glad Sean Hannity cleared up what he meant, because knowing the president, I can see how he would consider poll watching as something entirely different. Contradicting the president's claim is Acting Secretary of Homeland Security Chad Wolf, who said on CNN's State of the Union that we don't have any authority to do that at the department.
Has the president discussed with you deploying any of your law enforcement agents to serve as poll watchers?
No, absolutely. He has not. Again, that's not what we do at the Department of Homeland Security. We have law enforcement authorities and law enforcement officers at the department. We have express authorities given to us by Congress, and this is not one of them.
Also, federal law prohibits anyone in the civil, military, or naval services of the U.S. to order or bring troops or armed men to any location where a general or special election is being held. Basically, don't bring your gun to an election fight. In other news, Steve Bannon, former chief strategist to President Trump and still a giant Trump fan, has been charged for conspiracy to commit wire fraud and money laundering in connection to a crowdfunding campaign to build a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border. According to the indictment, Bannon took at least $1 million from the campaign and used some of it for personal expenses, including cosmetic surgery. The giant Trump fan went from this to this. Oh. I hope he got the look that he wanted. Can hardly tell them apart. And finally, Bannon's indictment makes him the 6th person associated with the top echelons of President Trump's 2016 presidential campaign to face federal charges. A list that includes Roger Stone, Michael Flynn, Rick Gates, Paul Manafort, and Michael Cohen. There's a saying that you are the average of your 5 closest friends, or the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Which is why it's weird having a conversation with your kid's kindergarten teacher, because they hang out with 5-year-olds all day. In parent-teacher meetings, they say stuff like, one of the kids had an ouchie in their tummy tum-tum, so we had to go night-night with our bankies after snack time adventures. And you're like, damn, you need to start hanging out with adults. But in the back of your head, you're like, what the hell are snack time adventures, and how do I get in on that? So if 100% of President Trump's 5, now 6 closest associates are federal criminals, then by the law of averages, Trump is 100% a federal criminal. That's 100%, Mr. Trump. What do you think about that?
You're talking about numbers that are incredible.
I'm Jenna Johnson, and this is COVID-19 News. Thanks for watching.